I think I'm live. Can people see me and hear me okay? I'll just double check with that before I sort of start digging into anything today. I can see all of you. I can see Anna and Lena and Cece and Connie. Happy Sow-wen, everybody. I'm so excited and nervous to be here with you today. Sow-wen just feels like such a big responsibility. Can you all hear me okay and see me? I haven't seen anyone say that they can see me. Oh, Lena can see me. Okay. Whew. I always worry every time I switch off on this camera that something technological is going to blow up at me, but I'm here, I can be seen and I can be heard. So that is fantastic. Just to quickly introduce myself, I'm Athena Mack. I'm down here in the Southern Hemisphere in New Zealand. So actually today is Beltane for me. But I'll get into that a little bit later about how it's not actually just opposites day for Samhain and Beltane and the other holidays in the wheel of the year. For me, it's also intimately connected, like the life cycle of breathing in and out. They're not separate things. It's, you know, it's one cycle that sustains life, and it's the same for the planet. It's the cycle of life, death, and rebirth that sustains us all. So it's never like I'm an upside down land when it comes to the seasons or anything else. It's just one continuous cycle that brings us all together. So some of you may know me already from Apothecary. I've been so blessed to be able to join with you for session 3 each month. And now I'm here for Samhain, and it's just, I get FOMO every year at Halloween when you're all celebrating Samhain up there. I'm like, oh, spring, Beltane, it's okay, I guess, but I want to be doing Samhain with you guys, and now I am. So it's like a little dream come true for me. I'm really excited. So just a little outline of tonight. We're going to be working with our beautiful kit, which was shipped to me very rushed, and it arrived an hour and a half ago. So I was spending all morning, I was looking out the window every time I heard a van go past, and I was like, is it the courier? Are they here with my tools? And then finally it's like, oh, the tools are here. Otherwise I was going to have to like jimmy something up and fish out my old ceremonial cacao out of the cupboard. I have no idea how old that is. I would have been taking my life in my own hands. But here we are. I have the tools, and they are gorgeous, like really beautiful. So what I'm going to do first, before we get too crazy, is I am going to smudge. Has anyone else had like a really weird Samhain? Like just little things, little bumps in the night maybe that have been a bit interesting this year? So about 3 days ago, I've got to go. The light bulb in my son's room burst. Totally normal, absolutely normal. And I forgot to change it out, and my son gets home, you know, and he's off to bed at the end of the night, and he switches his light on. He's like, oh, Mum, my light bulb's burst. And I said, yeah, I've got to go get a light bulb for it, you know. So both me and him had switched on this light, and it hadn't worked. And of course, the next night, again, I'll give you some smudge over here by the camera as well, shall we? Nice. He switches on his light, doesn't work. He says, Mum, you forgot to change my light bulb. I was like, yeah, I have to remember to actually buy the light bulb, which may take some time for me to remember to do that while I'm out and about. And then last night, 3rd time in a row, switches in. He's like, Mum, you still haven't done my light bulb. 12-year-old, you know, rolling his eyes at me. And then he hops into bed. And while he's in bed last night, bearing in mind that yesterday down here in New Zealand was October 31st. So yesterday was Halloween. 10 minutes into being in bed all quiet, and all of a sudden I hear this, "Mom, my light just switched on by itself." So that was a little bit of an interesting wee happening, which, I mean, I can't be surprised. My ancestors, they do not care if I'm in the southern hemisphere and it's spring. They are rocking down here for their Sow-wen, and they expect all the good rum. And if they don't get it, then light bulbs and cupboard shenanigans will occur. But we're used to that around here. So it's just something a little bit fun. And of course, tomorrow, 5:47 a.m. your time, well, Pacific time, so those of you who are on the west coast of the States, is when the new moon will be, and that's a new moon in Scorpio, so it's very fitting for the Halloween season to have it, especially having it so close, like tomorrow morning, first thing. I mean, it's just after midnight for me here in New Zealand. It's 1:47 a.m. That we have the new moon. So do we have any Scorpios in the feed? I'm seeing the comments. Jessie's been seeing lots of orbs. Polly's had things disappearing on her. Alicia's got warm and windy weather. That's very good. It's quite cool here today considering it's spring. Amy, today was generally a things didn't go as planned or expected kind of day. Lena's refrigerated light is strobing at random times. Linda's bathroom light is blinking. We're all going through it. I love it. I enjoy it. It's great fun. To me, it's not scary. To me, it's, I guess, a confirmation of the things that I believe, of the things that I feel about the ancestors being around and the veil being thinner at this time of year, that they have that little extra energy and oomph to be able to interact with us a little bit more. And it's comforting to know that they're there, and to know that one day I'll be like that too. I'll be an annoying ancestor being like, where's my Sow-wen offerings, guys? And we've got lots of moons and Scorpios, rising, Scorpio risings. I better watch myself. The Scorpios will be after me tonight. Oh, that's awesome. Janie's been seeing 1111 all week. Oh, Violetta, leaving work and fell down the stairs. I hope you're okay. You didn't get banged up too much, did you? Yeah. And yeah, Jeanette, that's what I think too. The ancestors are here protecting us. So I guess let's get into the tools, shall we, a little bit. First of all, I absolutely adore this perfume that came. Once I opened it, like I knew the notes, and then once I opened it, you can smell that cacao and tobacco, like that really earthy, fruity smell of fresh tobacco oil mixed with that cacao. And it's just, oh, that's like one of the sexiest ancestral blends I have smelled. So I'm going to pop a little bit on and get myself into the ancestral mood, so I can smell it on myself. It's a really beautiful blend. I'm blown away. It's amazing. So tonight I was a bit inspired by the kit. When the kit sort of came through, the Ancestral Connection kit came through, when we write it up, we sort of get little pictures of everything. And I thought to myself, how perfect would the grey jasper skull plate, because it's unpainted, be for a particular ritual that I had in mind for myself, just personally. And then sort of things happened, and I was asked to guide the Sow-wen ritual tonight. And I thought, it must have come to my mind for a reason, so that I could do this with all of you, because it just felt so important. Because as you see, the grey jasper skull-shaped plate is really big. Like, it's as big as my actual head. Like, this is a big plate. It's so cool. And there's still sets on the website. I was having a nosy this morning, and there's still like a little handful of them. So if anyone's like watching the feed over at SGHQ, if there are still some sets there and people haven't snapped them up, if you could chuck a link up, that would be fantastic. But I thought with the fact that it's not painted, it doesn't have eyes on it, it doesn't have gemstones on it, I thought every year at Sow-wen we get quite wrapped up in thinking of, oh, Auntie Lynn who's passed, Uncle Andy, your great-grandma Kathleen, and Uncle Mervyn and everything, all the people that we know, all the people that we remember. And so tonight, because this is faceless, I wanted us to think a little bit deeper about the ancestors that we don't remember, the ancestors who may have been forgotten for so many reasons. You know, there were times where record keeping wasn't that great, or where lineages were passed down through oral traditions, or perhaps someone was just a bit of a lone wolf and never really connected and had their names sort of recorded in family trees or in written history or anything like that. And so tonight, I want to connect with those in our ancestry who are a part of the forgotten dead, the people that we don't know, that we don't remember, because they deserve to be remembered as well. So what I'll do is I will open a circle first, and I'm going to, I have a written invocation that I've written it down, so I'm cheating a little bit, but I don't want to forget any of it. I want to be able to get the whole thing across to the forgotten ancestors. Then I'm going to take you on a little journey to meet one of them, one of the ancestors that we don't remember. Then I'll bring you back. And at some stage during all that, we're going to be doing our cacao before the actual journey, and we'll be dedicating part of that as an offering to our ancestors. So I hope you enjoy tonight, and I guess we'll get started into it. I've got more comments coming up. Denise wasn't able to get her kit. It is a really cool kit, yeah. You can tell it's a skull, like it's the perfect shape with the cheekbones and the jawline. Alicia's losing internet in her crazy weather, and Stephanie just did her own Sow-wen ceremony. Grandfather and grandmother connected to you through your Aphrodite. That's nice. Okay, so we've already smudged, and I'm just making sure I have got everything. I've got the cacao, I've got the cup, I've got the candle. I've already put on the perfume. All right. So anyone who knows me through apothecary knows that my circles are a little bit simpler. This double terminated Lemurian wand comes with me wherever I go. She is my circle caster, and so okay, I'm just going to get into, and as well as you, just get yourself into the right headspace, putting feet on the floor nice and flat, relaxing the shoulders, and just getting into the present space of breathing. So it's sort of about switching away from the practicalities of, do I have everything ready, and coming into more of a liminal space of where everything is already ready. It's a plane flying over me, if you can hear that. So very simply, around with my wand, I cast the circle round about to draw love in and keep fear out. As above, so below. And then normally I call in sort of the elements in a circular direction. Whenever I'm doing ancestral work, I call them in a crossroads. So if it sounds a bit out of order, then you'll understand why. And I'll try and sort of explain things as I go while I'm doing it, so you're sort of on board with everything. So starting in the east, call in the element of air, guardian of inspiration, new beginnings, of thought and communication. We ask you to join our circle tonight to open lines of communication with those who have passed, to be able to open our minds to the possibilities of worlds that have passed and worlds yet to come. And return to center and then go to the west on the opposite side, in the direction of the guardian of water. We call you into our circle tonight to bring dreams and psychic connection, to bring depth of emotion, that we might connect on a deeper level with those who have gone before us, that we might be open to the whispers of our intuition when they come through, to not doubt ourselves, to release any emotional weight that we may be carrying, associated with Sow-wen, with the passing of loved ones, so that we can be open to the experiences that we have this evening. Returning to center again. And then now I go to the direction of the equator. So for me, I'm going to the northern direction, and to you, you'd be going to the southern direction, which is the direction of the guardian of fire. We ask to bring in the passion and life and vibrancy of all those who have lived before us, from times when, you know, they had to be creative in different ways, where, you know, there wasn't technology. They had to make their own fun, and they did. We weren't the first to dream up all these different ways we party. They had their own exciting lives. And so we bring that in. We bring in the joy. We bring in the vitality and the life that still exists within those who have passed. Back to the center again. Now we turn to the polar region, which for you is the north, the direction of night, the south for me. And we call in the guardian of the element of earth, and the true direction of the ancestors, dwelling in the night, bringing shadows into the light, the direction of abundance, of the green wild earth, of the smallest plants, of moss, the insects that crawl, to the biggest trees, to the sturdiest rocks and the tiniest pebbles, to Earth and Gaia herself. We invite you all into our circle this evening. Again, returning to center. And just thinking on the element of spirit, of ether, and knowing that we are connected in a liminal space to those who have passed, to those who are yet to come, to those who name the people whose names we know, and to the people whose names were lost to the sands of time. And so it is. And so now I'm going to just have a little sip of a drink because I'm getting a slightly dry throat. And now I'm going to light our candle. The candle has the same note sense as the perfume. So nice. And isn't this art on it just beautiful? Turn it the wrong way. Sort of see. Everything's backwards on my screen, so I don't know which direction I'm going. But the art is absolutely gorgeous. It's letting off its scent. And now that the candle's lit, in honorance and remembrance of those who have passed, I'm going to read out the invocation of those who have passed that I've written. The invocation to those who were forgotten. tonight we memorialize you, the unknown of our world. Whoever you may have been in life, tonight, now in death, you are ours, as you watch from the other side, at least for a little while. Women who were lost to us, how did you pass? Were you old, crossing with your own ghost to keep you company? Were you young and healthy, taken unexpectedly, a crossing as much a surprise to you as it was to anyone else? Do you lie somewhere waiting to be claimed, or do you lie under the stars tonight? Forgotten women, your spirits are here with us tonight, watching and guiding from outside the circle. We remember you. We want you to know you are honored, you are remembered. Men who were lost to us, how did you pass? Did you die in strange lands far from home? Were you in the prime of your life, or creeping along into old age as time finally took its toll on you? Are you buried in an unmarked grave, or do your bones lie under these stars tonight? Forgotten men, your spirits are with us tonight, watching us from outside the circle, guiding us. We remember you and want you to know that you are honored. You are remembered. Sweet children, crossed over from this world to the next, your lives were far too short, and for whatever reason, you left us before you grew. On the other side, let there be a mother to hold you when you need to feel loved, a father to comfort you when you are afraid, and others to guide you on your journey. Wherever you may lie, whether you were big or very, very small, your spirits are with us tonight, watching and guiding us from outside the circle. We remember you and want you to know you are honored. You are remembered. All of you, women, men, children, you may have crossed over unnoticed when you left this world, but for now you are remembered. You are unforgotten. You are honored by us this night of Sow-wen. And if it helps you along your journey, then so may it be. Know that this night you are with us in memory and spirit. Know that you are no longer the lost and unreachable dead. And so it is. I'm just spending a little moment with that. Just knowing that we're surrounded, loved, and guided by those we know and those that we don't. And so now I'm going to mix up some cacao. Now this is the first time I've used cacao in these little button forms, so I'm not totally sure. It says combine the whole package with 3/4 of a cup of hot water, tea, or milk. And I've got about half a cup there, so I guess I will pop those in. Maybe not all of them. Just going to put all of them in. Go on, why not? Treat yourself. Oh my gosh. Odin, sorry, this is my cat. My lovely cat has decided to jump up, and I'm very afraid that he's going to scald his tail on the candle. He's right here. Whew. Now he's down. He doesn't usually visit and he doesn't usually jump up on things. So he's obviously sort of felt the energy here tonight, and he's decided that he wanted to be a part of it, totally wet and covered in rain from outside. So he's splashed me quite nicely. Right. And we've got our wee dinky. Isn't this adorable? Our little obsidian skull on the silver spoon. So I'm going to get in there and mix that up. And hopefully the water, I boiled it right before we started, and hopefully it hasn't cooled off too much to melt the cacao. Oh, it's melting, it's getting sticky. Okay. And of course we've got the cup as well with that beautiful art on it that's on the candle and the perfume. A cat just set off the light in your yard, not your cat. The cats are right into it tonight, aren't they? My Odin, he's a rescue cat. He spent about 8 years on the street. They suspect he was about 8 years old. So he's not the cuddliest cat. He'll sit next to me, you know, like parallel play type thing, but he doesn't curl up on my lap. So to have him jump up on the table is actually quite an unexpected and rare treat for me. And he didn't burn his tail, so that was good, or his whiskers. Oh, Jeanette's is feral as well. Okay. That is, I think that's dissolving really well. Well, I can still see buttons floating around in there. But it's mainly, the buttons are a lot smaller. It's working. Because usually what I've used in the past is a bigger block, and I've grated it into the water, so it sort of melts instantly. So this is a little bit new for me with the buttons. It's coming along. It's looking pretty good. Okay. And so tonight I'm just going to hold this for a minute. And also with offerings, I do the same thing, which I did with the elements. I offer it to the 4 directions and the directions of the crossroads. So I'm going to do that with this now. So it's over to the east, over to the west, towards the direction of the sun, and towards the direction of night. And always returning back to center. And cacao is such a beautiful heart-opening, not really a herb, bean. Cacao's a bean. But the plant medicine with cacao is very much about compassion, about opening your heart to love of all kinds. You know, it's a little bit of an aphrodisiac, as we know, but it's also, there's a richness to it. There's a richness to the love that comes with cacao that infuses you with, for me anyway, it infuses me with gratitude. It's such a sort of a special plant ally that has a real spirit of its own. And so I'm very grateful to be able to work with cacao as plant medicine this evening. And just before we take a sip of our cacao, and still holding the cup in our hands, on the eve of the new moon on Sow-wen, I'd like to set an intention with you for the little journey that we're going to go on next. It's not a big underworld journey or anything like that, because when the veil is this thin, the spirits aren't in the underworld, they're in the middle world. So it's a little bit of a middle world journey. So I guess holding an intention about who in your ancestry that you don't know, that without sort of being like specific and being like, oh, I want to know someone who was a carpenter or something like that, you know, more thinking about the energy that you want to bring in through the meeting, whether it's learning about forgiveness or learning about a psychic gift you might have inherited through your family, learning about their magical path, or doing some lineage healing, perhaps just some gentle lineage healing that can only be done sort of when you meet up with your ancestors. So just sort of taking a moment and then breathing into the cacao, your intentions. And finally, the one we've all been waiting for, taking a sip. It turned out a lot better than I was expecting with the buttons and how slowly they were melting. I was worried. I was like, am I going to have to pretend to like it? But it's really good. And I'm only drinking half of it, and the rest I'm dedicating as an offering to the ancestor that we'll be meeting tonight in journey. So again, just coming back to center, get nice and comfortable. Make sure you're seated somewhere nice and comfy so that you aren't too distracted. And what I'm going to do is talk you through, I guess, the entry into the journey. And then I'll explain the next part before going into it so that I can just drum while you do that yourself in your own time. And then once the drumming is done, we'll then come back out of it and maybe have a little bit of sharing time if there's time, and questions and answers and things like that. So I want you to imagine that you're standing in a large open space. At the moment, not a lot of details, just feeling the eeriness, the expansiveness, being able to maybe feel the wind against your face, stirring your hair. Maybe it's a light breeze, maybe it's a bit more of a flutter. Sensing if it's daytime or nighttime in this space. It could be dawn, it could be sunset. Feeling the temperature around you. Is it cooler than where you are now? Is it warmer? Is it the same temperature? Perhaps it's just a neutral temperature that you barely even notice. Take a deep breath in and see if you can smell the open expanse. There may be a smell of grass. There may be a smell of dirt under your feet. There may be a smell, a scent of petrichor, of rain on the wind. And just becoming really attuned to what your senses are picking up. Pay attention to your feet. Are they resting on concrete, on grass, on cobbles, on little stones and sand? Wiggle your toes against the ground. Feel the texture, feel how it supports you, how it nurtures you, how it grows everything around you. And now cast your eyes about to see the space that you're in. You may be in an open field. You may be on a mountaintop. Perhaps you're like me, standing with your toes in a little creek with the pebbles under your feet and just a little bit of water gently brushing over the tops of your feet. That's where I am. You may be on a road. Could be a busy road or an empty road. Wherever you feel you are is perfectly right for your journey at this time. Ahead of you is a path. Not a long path, not anything sort of foreboding. It's not a difficult path, just a straight or perhaps gently curving path. Maybe it goes a little uphill or a little downhill. It might be a dirt path, it might be a stone path. It may be the path of the creek I'm standing in. And so we're going to just gently take our time and walk forward along this path. And you notice as you walk forwards, there are torches at the side of the road, or the side of the path, or the side of the tracks that you're walking along. And every time you think you're going to step into a darker part of the path, another set of torches either side lights up, always guiding you, always lighting your way, feeling warm, feeling protective, nurturing you, lifting you up. And slowly, as you go along this path, you come to a space that is somehow enclosed. It may be a field surrounded by a fence or a hedge. It may be a building with a door. It might be a cave with a waterfall falling over in front of it. It could be a stage with curtains drawn across. But either way, there is a space beyond something that is closed off temporarily to us. Beyond that, beyond the gate or the door or the veil, so that's what it is. It's the veil between us and the people waiting beyond. So beyond that, even though it's closed, you can see or sense the shape of one person waiting for you in that next space. So now, as we rest outside, I'm going to start beginning to drum. And for this part of the journey, what's going to happen as I'm drumming, just in your own time, I won't be speaking at all. When you feel ready, you'll be opening the door or the curtain or the gate or spreading the waterfall apart and just stepping in to meet the person who is a forgotten member of your ancestry. Then when you're with them, just don't feel forced to have a conversation or to interact. Just let what happens naturally happen. So it might not be words. There may be an energy exchange. There may be silence. You might see a symbol given to you from them in your mind's eye, or you might feel a certain way. Perhaps you're reminded of a past experience, or you may have a full conversation with you. But just being open to the exchange of energy that occurs, and just being open to receiving as well as giving them that honor of being finally remembered. And then what I'll do is I'll be drumming, and then I'll slowly slow down and get quieter and quieter until I stop. And then I will drum more rapidly. And I'll do that for about 30 seconds-ish. And during that time, that's just the time to express your gratitude and give thanks. and then exit back out beyond the door, beyond the gate, and gently close it behind you. So I will start drumming now. I've got this was gifted to me a very long time ago. It's made of antelope hide. I've had it since I was about 21, and it's been with me through a lot. Okay, so if you're ready, just again, take a deep breath and return to that space just beyond the gate. And in your own time, trust yourself to take yourself beyond into the journey. Now you should be back behind the fence, behind the gate, behind the doors, back on your own side. And with good deep gratitude in our hearts, turning away and turning back towards the path that you came down. Slowly walking back down. As you pass each set of torches, behind you they flicker out, no longer lighting the way. Coming back towards the open space where we started. Just take a deep breath and let yourself ease gently back into the present time, just in your own time. Maybe give your toes a little wiggle and flex your ankles a bit. Give your fingers a wiggle, rotate your wrists, and just feel yourself settling back into your physical space. Feel free to open your eyes or keep them closed just as we finish up the ceremony. Spirits, ancestors, guests from the place beyond, it is time. We have honoured you and celebrated your names, though we may not have known you in life. Now is the time for you to move on. Go back knowing that this night you were honoured and remembered as one of our beloved dead. Go back across the veil and remain in that world until the veil thins again. You will no longer be forgotten. Farewell, rest easy, and may the coming parts of your journey be worthy of you. So mote it be. And with that, blowing out the candle. And the smoke is much an offering as the cacao. How's everybody feeling after that? Island Girl offered some cacao to Pachamama. And Jessie was asking about any triple goddess Hecate devotees. I certainly work with Hecate quite a lot in my own practice. Oh, Sally got to dance together with the person that she met. That's really beautiful. I love that. I am so grateful to have been able to come here with you tonight and to celebrate Sow-wen with you. It's such an amazing honor, it truly is, and I'm humbled. And it's bittersweet, journeying like that, spending time with someone who's so close in terms of blood and lineage. They're a part of you. Without them, without them, we wouldn't be around. They're a part of why we're here. And yet also sort of the bitter part of the bittersweet is we can't get to know them day to day. We can't sort of be like, hey, I wonder what my ancestor Joe is up to. I'll flick him a text. It's not sort of that easy. So these moments that we have at Sow-wen when the veil thins are just that much more special and meaningful. Being able to connect with the people of our past, the people who birthed us into existence. And being able to share that with all of you, that's what it's all about. That's what this community is about, is being able to connect so profoundly with people across the world that in such a way that's so personal and magical. And it's just made that much more special. For me, it is anyway. But for now, it is time to open our circle and release the elements. So in reverse direction of the crossroads, to close the crossroads that I opened. Back towards the polar regions, for me, south, and for you, north. I had to double check that in my head quickly. It's releasing the element of earth. We're so thankful for you to attend our circle and be our guide. And then up to the north, for me, the south for you, the equatorial region where the greatest heat of the sun is, releasing the element of fire. We're so grateful for your presence in the circle and your guidance tonight. Going back to the west, the element of water, where the sun sets and the oceans are deep. We thank you for being a part of our circle tonight, for guiding us and opening us to the things that we have felt. Back to center and finally back to the east. Element of air. Thank you for being a part of our circle, for opening our minds, for allowing us to communicate. We're grateful for your presence, and we release you all now as we return to center. Just opening the circle. The circle is open, but as always, unbroken. Power down to the ground. And so it is. So I'm personally going to be leaving the last little bit of cacao on this altar tonight as an offering. And then with my offerings, when it comes to sage ash and incense and anything related to clearing and cleansing, I leave it as an offering on the east side of my property. I've got just a little offering space. But things for the ancestors, because they've passed on, I guess, beyond the sunset in a way, I always leave it to the west side of my property. So if that's something that calls to you, maybe you'd like to do that as well. But in the meantime, I hope you have an absolutely blessed and wonderful, beautiful Sow-wen. And I should probably do the responsible thing and celebrate Beltane down here. But it's been such a privilege to be with you. And just seeing you all in the feed, it really is just beautiful. Thank you so much. And hopefully I will see you again soon. Have a wonderful evening, all of you, and I will figure out where to end this. Kia ora.